Hello everyone, I'm Chris and this is my presentation. We will talk about globalization through the lens of different theorists. Globalization is the increasing interconnection of countries, economies, cultures, and societies on a global scale. Several key aspects define the concept of globalization. We have economic globalization, cultural globalization, political globalization, technological globalization, social globalization, and of course, environmental globalization. Globalization isn't all sunshine and rainbows, though. Supporters say it can boost economies, drive innovation, and create cultural exchanges. But critics argue it can also lead to economic inequality, loss of cultural identity, and environmental damage. The effects of globalization can differ depending on where you are and what you do. Now, we will delve into the idea of Talcott Parsons. Parsons introduced the concept of sick role, which explains how society expects and how individuals act when they're considered sick. There are four key aspects of the sick role. Sick people are allowed to step back from some of their usual social responsibilities, but society has to confirm them. Sick individuals are excused from taking full responsibility for their condition. They need to get better naturally or with some treatment. Society only partly accepts this sick role, so sick people end up isolated and their odd behavior doesn't win them sympathy or help from others. Being sick often means needing help. In this role, sick people have responsibilities like cooperating with their doctor or therapist to recover. The sick role concept highlights that illness isn't just a medical thing, it's a social issue with rights and duties. Talcott Parsons' sick role concept delves into societal expectations surrounding illness within a given context. While not directly tied to globalization, it bears relevance of how health and illness are viewed in today's interconnected world. Here's the connection between the sick role and globalization. Notion highlights that sick individuals are excused from certain social duties and should seek medical care. However, global differences in healthcare access make fulfilling these roles challenging. Globalization has made it easier for people to seek medical treatment abroad. In a globalized world, people from diverse backgrounds interact with different healthcare systems and expectations tied to the sick role. Recognizing these variations is crucial for healthcare providers and policymakers dealing with global health issues. Globalization has sped up the spread of diseases and health problems across borders. The sick role links to how individuals and societies respond to these global health threats. The sick role indirectly relates to how global health policies are crafted and put into practice, emphasizing the need for a shared understanding of illness and health responsibilities across borders, particularly during pandemics and global health crises. The sick role can be viewed through the lens of health tourism, where individuals temporarily become patients seeking care in different countries. Habitus, as defined by Bourdieu, refers to a lasting system of ingrained behaviors and preferences acquired through socialization and life experiences. These dispositions shape how individuals perceive the world and act within it. Habitus is something they carry with them throughout their lives. This concept challenges the idea of human agency as purely rational and deliberate, emphasizing the role of unconscious, learned tendencies. Habitus isn't passive. It actively influences an individual's actions and thoughts, acting as a set of guiding principles that structure their behavior. Habitus grants individuals a certain level of autonomy within the confines of their social conditions. While it's influenced by external factors, it operates as a structured system allowing individuals to navigate the social world. Through their habitus, individuals don't merely passively follow institutional rules, they actively bring these rules to life. Habitus can also facilitate transformations within an individual's life as it interacts with new experiences and events, allowing for adaptations and changes in behavior and preferences over time. Habitus is closely linked to globalization in various ways. It's essentially our ingrained habits and social influences that shape how we think and act in our daily lives. Here's how habitus connects with globalization. In a globalized world, different cultures mix, leading to new hybrid cultural forms. Habitus is crucial here as people bring their cultural backgrounds into contact with others, resulting in new practices reflecting multiple habituses. Exposure to global brands can change our habitus, impacting our preferences and actions. Habitus can change over time, partly due to media exposure. Migration, a key part of globalization, involves the interaction of habitus from one's home culture with the new environment. Education has gone global, with students from various places studying abroad. This exchange can influence habitus among diverse groups, shaping their future behavior. People in global movements may develop shared habitus, forming global communities with common values. Mills delves into the concept of the power elite. He contends that power and influence are tightly concentrated among a small, interconnected group of individuals who hold pivotal roles in major institutions. These individuals, often known as the higher circles, wield the authority to make decisions that significantly affect the lives of ordinary citizens. The power elite's defining characteristics is its capacity to transcend the everyday circumstances of regular people and exert substantial influence over societal developments. The interlocking of economic, political, and military structures creates a power elite that molds the trajectory of American society. And the central idea of Mill is that in America, a small, closely linked group of individuals holding key roles in major institutions constitutes a power elite, and their choices and influence profoundly shape the nation's social, economic, and political landscape. Mill's theory of the power elite can be connected to globalization in several specific ways. In the context of globalization, major corporations have gone global, transforming to transnational corporations. They are firmly entrenched in the power elite and have a hand in shaping economic policies and international trade agreements. This global political influence is a pivotal facet of the power elite's reach. Mills emphasizes the interconnectedness of the power elite, which becomes increasingly transnational in the globalization era. In our globalized world, the media's reach extends across borders, allowing the power elite to shape public opinion and spread their messages worldwide. Although Mills doesn't explicitly address global financial institutions, they significantly impact the power elite in the context of globalization. Key figures within these institutions often have ties to major corporations, reinforcing the interconnected nature of the power elite. The power elite plays a central role in determining how these global challenges are addressed, further highlighting their influence on global governance and policy making. David Harvey primarily delves into the historical emergence and adoption of neoliberalism as an economic and political ideology. It explores the context in which neoliberalism came about and how it eventually gained prominence as the prevailing economic and political system in various parts of the world. Post-World War II, embedded liberalism involved substantial state management of the economy, ensuring full employment and providing social support. Neoliberalism was viewed as a means to reinvigorate and bolster the influence of economic elites by advocating for open markets, deregulation, and privatization. Harvey underscores how neoliberalism contributed to growing income and wealth inequality, both within the United States and on a global scale. Neoliberalism is described as a political undertaking with the aim of re-establishing conditions for capital accumulation and safeguarding the interests of economic elites, often at the expenses of other societal and economic goals. Harvey also suggests that the implementation of neoliberal policies didn't always align with the theoretical principles of neoliberalism, and instead, these policies were often adjusted to serve the interests of economic elites. David Harvey's theory has a significant link to globalization in various distinct ways. The process of adopting neoliberal policies has had a profound impact on the worldwide economy by endorsing principles of free markets and deregulation. A crucial facet of globalization is the rise in international trade and the liberalization of global markets. Harvey discusses the role of financialization within the scope of neoliberalism. This financial globalization is a central feature of the neoliberal agenda, which aims to remove restrictions on the movement of capital. As wealth becomes concentrated among the global economic elite, it is a direct consequence of the neoliberal agenda. World Bank and IMF play a pivotal role in globalization as they shape economic policies in countries across the globe, advancing neoliberal ideas and practices. Neoliberalism as a political and economic initiative has extended its influence worldwide. This globalization of neoliberalism is part of the broader global shift toward market-oriented economic policies. Harvey briefly mentions that neoliberal policies and privatization have been imposed on countries, leading to heightened social inequality. This underscores the connection between neoliberalism and globalization in shaping the economic and political landscape of these nations. The main idea by Immanuel Wallerstein is his conceptualization of the modern world system and the dynamics within it. Wallerstein argues that the modern world system is a social system characterized by boundaries, structures, member groups, rules of legitimation, and coherence. This world system is made up of conflicting forces that both hold it together and tear it apart as different groups seek to shape it to their advantage. He suggests that a world system has the characteristics of an organism, with a lifespan during which its characteristics change and remain stable. Wallerstein's theory of world systems shares significant ties with the notion of globalization. Okay. The interdependence of core economies with peripheral and semi-peripheral regions has become more pronounced. Wallerstein's view of capitalism as structurally founded on a world economy aligns with contemporary capitalism's globalized nature. Globalization often leads to the emergence of transnational political entities, such as multinational corporations and international organizations, which impact and sometimes challenge the authority of nation-states, resembling Wallerstein's concept of multiple political systems within a world system. The global division of labor, with core countries specializing in higher skilled activities and periphery regions often engage in low skilled labor, reflects this core periphery dynamics. In the context of globalization, semi-peripheral countries may act as emerging economies or regional powers, experiencing economic growth and influencing international affairs. Wallerstein's emphasis on the unequal distribution of benefits in the world system can be applied to critique the effects of globalization on income inequality, labor exploitation, and environmental degradation. The world system theory of Wallerstein is often considered the most useful for understanding globalization because it provides a comprehensive framework that addresses economic, political, and historical dimensions. However, the choice of theory depends on your specific research focus and the aspects of globalization you want to explore. Other theories, such as the power elite theory of Mills and the neoliberalism theory of Harvey, are also highly relevant depending on the context of your analysis. I hope you enjoy my presentation and thank you for listening.